Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. Last time we ended the serious killers reacting to a death sentence with Donald Smith, and we've only reacted to two cases so far. We're going to continue from there and move on to the next. I hope everybody's having an amazing day today. Happy Wednesday.
Smith accepted his sentence with chilling indifference, but in this next case, the defendant can't.
Why is it lagging, man? What the heck? Hold on, bro. Technical difficulties, bro.
Seem to get enough of life behind bars.
Never heard him say that he was sorry for his own actions. Not once. I am sentencing the defendant to death.
This,
Even if he says he was sorry, he deserves to die, man. I'm in no position to say somebody deserves to die, but come on, bro. If you're killing people without remorse, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You will die.
is Thomas Nuff, who's charged with aggravated murder, aggravated robbery, and kidnapping in Parma Heights, Ohio. Thomas Nuff wasn't even out of prison for a month before targeting the home of John Mann and Regina Capobianco. The couple had been pen pals with Nuff while in prison and even picked him up on his release date a month prior. Police arrived for a wellness check after the couple's friends had
Killed them?
word from them, and that's when they discovered their bodies.
He killed his helpers.
Nuff was arrested but admitted no guilt. He showed no emotion, but the judge showed enough emotion for the both of them.
Bodies rolled into carpet, maggots. I needed
Marcos
Vicks
was
VapoRub
dead for
to walk
days.
through that house on that crime scene. It is unlike something that you couldn't even imagine in a movie. It is really the most disturbing fact pattern.
Nuff's lack of remorse came back to bite him.
Mr. Knopf was sorry for how things turned out, but I never heard him say that he was sorry for his own actions. Not
That doesn't
once
even solve
did I
anything.
recall
That
hearing
doesn't
these
change
things.
anything.
This is the moment
Sorry or
he
not.
learned his fate.
I am
Attach
sentencing
this
the
debt.
defendant as it relates to count 2, the aggravated murder of Regina Capobianco, to death.
Nuff's emotions stayed under wraps during trial, but how does that compare to when the real-life Joker gets the worst sentence imaginable?
He choked her and ran her over so many times he made her look like spaghetti.
Wade Stephen Wilson be sentenced to death for each count of first-degree murder.
Like in the case of Wade Wilson, who's charged with double homicide in Cape Coral, Florida. Wilson met 35-year-old Christine Melton at a bar in 2019. He went home with her that night, but by morning he had strangled her to death in her own bed. Wilson stole his victim's car and fled the crime. He had strangled.
The first victim, Christine Melton, was strangled in her own home after Wilson had met her at a live music bar. Later that day, Diane Ruiz, a mother of two and a bartender, was strangled and subsequently run over multiple times after being lured into Melton's car on October 7, 2019.
her to death in her own bed. Wilson stole his victim's car and fled the crime scene.
This is
On his way,
insane.
he found 43-year-old Diane Ruiz walking along the sidewalk.
He told his dad he then picked up a lady, asked for directions, then choked her and ran her over so many times he made her look like
Oh! All she did was give you directions and you killed her?
spaghetti.
Ah,
If
see
you
why
thought
some people are
Wilson would
scared to go
continue to
outside.
flee after his second murder, you're wrong. Instead, Wilson entered a nearby convenience store, confessed his sins to the cashier on duty, and waited for the police to arrive. Wilson seemed ready to pay for his crimes. Once behind bars, however,
What?
he suffered a mysterious
What is making these people act like this? What is making these people I don't understand. I don't understand.
case of memory loss.
Did you kill Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz?
I'm not a monster. Yeah, I'm not a saint either by any means. I've made bad decisions in the past, of course.
In court, Wilson pled not guilty to the charges, but the judge wasn't convinced.
and that the second murder was cold, calculated, and premeditated.
This was Wilson's reaction to his
The
sentence.
totality of the circumstances
And he's
warrant that the
smiling.
defendant, Wade Stephen Wilson, be sentenced to death for each count of first-degree murder.
Wilson stayed as emotionless as ever after hearing the news.
He's a
Wilson was sentenced to the ultimate punishment. But what happens when someone gets 10 death sentences?
10.
He is evil.
His own attorneys today called him a serial killer and a cannibal.
Therefore, this court sentences you to death.
Like in the case of Jason Thornburg, who's facing 3 counts of capital murder in Fort Worth, Texas. On September 22nd, 2021, police responded to the scene of a dumpster fire. Once the fire was out, they made a horrifying discovery. The dumpster was filled with the remains of 3 missing persons.
This was shocking, it's unsettling, and we knew bringing someone to justice in this case was paramount.
The fire destroyed almost all evidence on the bodies, but using CCTV footage, police tracked the killer's car to a motel in a nearby town, where they found even more disturbing footage.
Depicted a resident of the motel exiting a room carrying plastic bins with what we believe to be body parts of our victims.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
occupied by Jason Thornburg, known around town as a highly religious drug addict.
3 of my detectives approached Mr. Thornburg and asked him to speak with them. He agreed to come with us voluntarily to our office to speak with us. Once back at our office, Mr. Thornburg participated in a consensual interview with my detectives, during which time Mr. Thornburg admitted his involvement in the death of the 3 individuals that were recovered in the dumpster on Bonnie Ground.
Shockingly, he admitted to his crimes and even revealed his motive.
Thornburg described having an in-depth knowledge of the Bible and believed that he was being called to commit sacrifice.
Come on. If we're going to be using the Bible to, where in the Bible did it say kill people? Where in the Bible did it say sacrifice a whole human being? And I'm not talking Old Testament, in the New Testament.
But that's not all. Thornburg confessed to eating the victims' hearts as part of the ritual.
That's a sacrifice
In court,
in the Bible.
Thornburg showed no emotion, not even as his victims' families cursed him to hell.
Jason wants drugs, fornication, religious recognition, and blood. Mr. Thornburg, however you or anyone else might try to offer an excuse, you murdered, committed perverse acts, and desecrated the bodies of our loved ones because you wanted to.
I do believe, and it's my opinion, that you are a danger to society. And the only thing that you do deserve is death.
The victims' families pushed for the death penalty, and so did the prosecutor.
He is a psychopath. He is evil. He is the type of evil that we want to believe doesn't exist in our community.
Meanwhile, Thornburg sat as still as a statue, but would he remain unbothered when the judge revealed his fate?
Jason Allen Thornburg, you have been adjudged by a jury to be guilty of capital murder, and the juror has answered the special issues, making it mandatory that your punishment be death. Therefore, this court sentences you, Jason Allen Thornburg, to death. This sentence shall be executed at any time after the hour of 6 p.m. on the day set for the execution by intravenous injection of a substance or substances in a lethal quantity sufficient to cause death, and until you, Jason Allen Thornburg, are dead.
Not even the death sentence could get under Thornburg's skin. But for our next defendant,
How was he supposed to react though? He killed what, 10 people, and he's supposed to be scared that he is about to die? No, man. Of course he's not going to be worried.
he doesn't stay so collected.
Like Clay, I'm hurting people, and there's nothing they can do about it.
What the fuck?
Is guilty of murder in the first degree.
I had no regrets in my life, and I'm proud of every decision I've ever made.
This is Peter Avsinu, who's facing 2 counts of first-degree murder, robbery with a firearm, credit card fraud, and grand theft auto in Wilton Manors, Florida. On Christmas Day in 2010, 38-year-old Peter Avsonu
Florida
unexpectedly
cases.
showed up at his mother's house in a car she had never seen before.
He had done something that he needed to get away for 6 months, and then everything would be all right.
Jeannie Avsonu tried to ask questions, but every answer was worse than the last.
I said, "Is the car stolen?" And I said, "You told me the car wasn't stolen, that your friend gave you this car." And he said, "I lied."
Oh.
I told him that he was making me an accessory to whatever he had done.
Mm.
And then he said, he just laughed.
She dropped the issue, but days later, when she saw what he had been looking at on the computer, her heart dropped.
What do you remember seeing on the screen?
I saw that Peter's picture, the Saturn in the background, in front of a house, and it said that they were looking for Peter Avsonu as the person of interest.
The screen showed a news story of two men shot to death in their home days earlier, and her son was the prime suspect. She called the police, and her son was promptly arrested. Now in court, his attorney had an interesting theory.
He was hired as a dude and an escort, and whatever you want to call it. Mr. Powell and Mr. Adams.
Bro, how can you be how can you be the lawyer for a murderer and try to, like, how? I don't understand. Like, how?
Hire him to come into their lives.
He claimed that Avsonu, who was trying to make extra cash for sexual favors, arrived at the house to find the couple already murdered, and he fled.
He was not living the lifestyle where he was going to pick up the phone and call the police. He was a survivor, and he went into a survival mode.
But would an innocent man steal the victim's SUV and max out their credit cards? And would an innocent man say this?
I had no regrets in my life, and I'm proud of every decision I've ever made. Nobody here knows.
And somebody's his lawyer.
Everyone can.
His lawyer is there like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? This is not what we discussed.
Speculate what ifs and maybes till they glue in the face, which you'll never really know. You would need a Ouija board for that.
But that's not
nobody here knows
this.
I had no regrets in my life, and I'm proud of every decision I've ever made. Nobody here knows what really happened that day. Everyone can speculate what ifs and maybes till they glue in the face, which you'll never really know. You would need a Ouija board for that.
But that's not the only shocking thing Avsonu said.
In March, Avsonu submitted a disturbing letter to the court where he called homosexuals a disgrace and the feeling of taking a life euphoric.
The victim's sisters were shocked at his behavior.
No remorse, no remorse.
no.
Still joking and laughing and just flat.
Still has a grin on his face as of today.
But Avsonu was about to get a nasty serving of karma. This is the moment the jury returned their verdict.
Defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree.
They found him guilty of the murders and recommended the death sentence. In response, Avsonu flipped them off. The judge upheld the jury's recommendation, and it looks like she made the right choice.
I claim I'm hurting people. I wholeheartedly had nothing to lose, and I'm going to take it out on everybody I can.
He already had a plan on how he'd do it.
But it's really easy to talk somebody into teaching them jiu-jitsu, putting them in a choke, and just holding on too long. And there's nothing they can do about it.
Avsonu's chilling response only confirmed the jury's decision. In this next case, however,
we're going to stop right there, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway through this. Again, like I said in the last video, if you would like for me to continue this series, comment in the comment section. The link to the actual video will be in the description box down below if you want to go watch it by yourselves without seeing my face. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you stayed this far, I appreciate you. Everybody, please stay safe. Self-love. One love. Peace. I'm gone. Crazy things.